Coach, the sun is set in Chicago. The temps have dipped and will continue to do so. Jacket and blanket weather. It's that time of year at Soldier Field. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Let's go. At their own 26-yard line.
Running it with the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year a season ago, Saquon Barkley. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A gain there of 21 yards.
First down, Dallas.
So a solid run by Saquon Barkley, and another 1st and 10 here.
Mike 5-5, Mike 55, Mike 5-5. Not today, you are. Not today.
On 1st and 10, it's Haskins. He'll take a shot for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The intended target was Calvin Ridley, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Haskins. And this will be incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. 3rd down. Here's Haskins. And that will be incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot, and this will remain a scoreless game. That opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
Well, now they'll start 3 yards shy of midfield after that long 57-yard miss. They'll run with a former Super Bowl hero as James White. And despite the good footwork, he'll be hit and dropped shy of the 45. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Get the ball. Alert 3, alert 3.
Great.
Now it's Newton. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Now, I guess, Charles, sometimes when you have a receiver well over 6 foot, you do that. Just put it up there, let him grab it, and he did.
And it certainly appears like a 50-50 ball, right? We always talk about that when both sides have a chance to get it, the receiver or the guy covering him. But I think the odds actually are in favor of the offense. They can see the ball coming oftentimes before the defender can get his head around. So I think that really goes to like 70-30, and they should be able to go up and get it most of the time.
He got it there. On 2nd and 7, Newton. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in the cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Now Newton. Eluding the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
And Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line. Because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
8. 20. Hey.
Now with just 1 second showing on the play clock, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. On 2nd down, they'll run with White. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. James White, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Bears have taken the early lead. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The offense for the Cowboys now working their way back onto the field. And the last go-around for them, they tried that really, really long field goal, couldn't connect.
And in retrospect, I think a lot of people would say, well, why would you try one that long? You hurt yourself in field position. The ball comes out, there. That only helps the other team. But I look at it as maybe it was a double shot of confidence. Confident the kicker could make it. And even if he missed, confident in their defense that they could hold him.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, here's Haskins. He's going to look deep for more. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the third time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. From the gun, Haskins on 3rd down. And that's knocked away and incomplete. Jerome Baker right there in coverage. That makes him now 0 for 2 here in the first quarter on 3rd down conversions.
And now they'll look to their defense because they need them to step up so they don't fall further behind here in the early going.
Taken in at the 11. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Bears take over. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you run into big-time races. It means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
At the 24-yard line.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Here we go. 54.
Here's Newton. He's going to air it out deep for Matthews. Looking to hit Matthews, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Obi Melifonwu. He was looking for Matthews that time.
Well, if you go by the numbers, you'll find as the temperature goes down, so does the passing efficiency. And now that we're in December, even the routine throws are going to be harder for the quarterbacks. And this one, it winds up getting picked off.
So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Cowboys are an extra point away from tying the football game. Lutz with the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Ready.
Check.
Ready.
They start to drive with White. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
These two teams all tied after 1. Back in Chicago, ready for the second quarter. It's the Bears in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They give it here to Thompson. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
20.
Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Mike 54.
They defer to White out of the shotgun. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
That's it. 180.
You ain't doing nothing today. You ain't doing nothing.
Newton looking to throw on 3rd and 1. Goodwin able to haul it in. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. They only needed 1 yard on third down. They get 10 instead by going to the air. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Throwing is Newton. Escaping the pressure right. That's caught inside the 20. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. Well, last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's no quarterback in this league that's any good.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
After the sack, here's 2nd and 11.
Gun.
Running out of the gun with White. White's got a first down and more. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. James White, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Bears have taken the lead. Tucker with the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. A handoff, Barkley running left. Oh, he's got a little daylight. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 47.
Switch.
Now it's Barkley. And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Check 24.
Here's a give to Barkley. And that'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Well, with the kind of half he's had, I think we can forgive him that run, right? Not every run's going to be a big play, is it?
No, and also the blocking just wasn't there. No room to run.
Yeah, defensively, they got to find a way to build on that, because he's eating them alive in the first half.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter, 14-7. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. From the gun on 3rd down, Haskins breaks a tackle. Flush to his right. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. In for the score. And the Cowboys are an extra point away from tying the football game. And a nice job by him to catch the slant and then navigate and break free.
And receivers love slant routes because it gets the ball in their hands so quickly and oftentimes on the move. And when they're on the move like that, then they get to use their best asset, which is usually their speed.
And their speed sometimes, like this instance, can take them into the end zone. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return.
The Bears take over first and 10 at their own 38-yard line.
Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides in this thing, it's starting to feel a little bit more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. Maybe we're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
Here we go. 180.
54. Line 54. Here we go.
On 2nd and 15 now. Newton is going to leave this for his running back. It's complete.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play. One-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those, too.
And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Marquise Goodwin hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Bears will extend their lead. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead is now 21-14. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there.
It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Cowboys. A big play there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Cowboys are an extra point away from tying the football game. What's good on the extra point? And we've got a tie game here in a back-and-forth first half. A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the score as the kick's away. This will be taken in at the 1. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And we're under a minute to go here in what's been an even first half, all tied up.
Yeah, still time to make something happen, too. Couple completions, you string them together. Could get into field goal range. Let's see what happens.
The drive starts with a run by White. Leighton Vander Esch, third in the NFL in tackles as a rookie last year. There on the stop.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
From the 29, Newton flushed out right. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And the Bears first down. First and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. First down, here's White. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. On 2nd and 9, Newton. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. A final shot before the break. Newton. He hits White, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. So we've reached halftime in a wild first half. We'll take a minute to catch our breath as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, and ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
To the set, ready to eat.
Mike 54. Mike 54. He don't know no better.
Gun, gun.
Mike 54.
On 1st down, it's Newton. Going up top. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. Matthews, the intended target. That'll bring up 2nd down. They fake the give. Newton. Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
11 yards and a Cowboy first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
They will come up on a 1st and 5 following the encroachment penalty. After the penalty, they go with Barkley. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Cowboys use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Lutz with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This will be taken in at the 1. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Ready, ready to eat.
Mike 54. It's our time. It's our time.
First play of the drive is a run with Thompson. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turn around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1.
That's it. 180.
Mike 5-4. Stay with your man.
20.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. I'm here all
Seven.
Here's Newton. Throw left side, caught by Goodwin. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. Here's J.K. Scott now, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. He'll field this at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10.
57 to Mike. 57 to Mike. Check, 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 check.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
At the 27-yard line.
Kill, kill, kill. Turn up. Kill, kill, kill. Turn up.
They'll run it again with Barkley. He finds an opening past the 40. And finally brought down right at the midfield stripe. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. Got to give a nod of appreciation to some of those guys up front over on that left side. Several key blocks sprung him.
No appreciation for the guys from the backside that didn't allow any leakage, anybody could run him down from the backside.
They're at the kids' table.
Okay, so front side guys, good,
Yeah.
backside guys,
Man,
that's what you're supposed to do?
I've had better.
Okay, either way, worked out quite well, didn't it? A nice sizable gain.
From midfield now, Haskins. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. On 2nd down, here's Barkley. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on run downs. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
Hey, check Mike 57.
Here's Haskins out of the gun. And he's got his target. That's Moore. Touchdown, Cowboys. DJ Moore with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
This is taken at the 3. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Great, great.
Check, 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 check.
They'll start the drive with a give to White. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the 1st.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation.
Newton on first down. On the left side, a catch by White. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
On the handoff, this is White. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Watch the run, watch the run. Gun.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. Trey Flowers, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Back now at Soldier Field. It's Bears football, but they trail on the scoreboard as we get set to bring you the fourth quarter. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Check it back. Shoot. Sponge. No. Out.
On a handoff, it's White. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. Caught the defense off guard there a bit on 2nd and long, but now you still have to deal with 3rd and long.
Yeah, you do, but you feel pretty good about the last play, don't you? And maybe it gives you a little bit of confidence dialing up the next one, that maybe your team will believe in it when you send it in.
On 3rd down, a run from White. And he'll get this awfully close to a first down. Boy, that's going to be a razor-thin measurement, but I don't think he got there. A nice run leaves him just inches from a first. Could they possibly be tempted to try this on 4th and about a foot? Eluding the pressure right. And avoids the contact by sliding. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
Okay, we've seen plenty of games. We've been there before. They thought they had this one over with if they could have stopped them right there on that down. Now they've got to continue to play. That's going to be tough.
It's tough because it was such great coverage. They had them blanketed, especially there in the secondary, but, hey, took off and found a way. Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard to go for the first. Now Thompson, and nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll try to pick this up on the ground with White. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Give him a gain of 4. Able to convert, and that sets up 1st and goal now. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Off play action. Newton. And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
They will run with White out of the shotgun, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. 5 yards on the touchdown run. And the Bears have cut it to within a score. Tucker with the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
They begin with a run by Barkley. He'll have a first down past the 40. And finally brought down at the 38. That one good for 37 yards. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time. And that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage. Use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Brings up 2nd and a yard at the Bears' 29-yard line.
The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. A give to Barkley out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. This offensive line starting to win up front. You win that battle in the trenches, you can kind of wear them down here late.
So you bring in the second part to that equation, and that's the big running back, the big bruiser who can get more than what's blocked and break a few extra tackles and gain yardage.
Now Saquon Barkley, and he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. Wow, a personal foul at this stage in the fourth. Hard to believe.
Really hard to believe, and now that glow of hope that you had begins to flicker out, doesn't it?
Yep. A handoff to Barkley. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here. 2nd and 11. Running left, it's Barkley. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Taking it in from 14 yards out. And the Cowboys will extend their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly controlled right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Ready? Right to the 3.
You got nothing today. You got nothing.
Ready?
On 1st and 10, Newton. Escaping the pressure right. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe you can expect more passes like that downfield. Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete. The intended target was Corey Coleman. And it's third down. Tried to go for the big one there on second down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
A third down gain of 19. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agree. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Now a pass dropped off here for James White. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Newton now to throw. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw again. Newton. He's going to let it fly. And that is caught, but the back judge right there to say incomplete. Definitely desperation time. This just looks like, hey, throw it down there, hope that your guy can make a play.
You want him to make a play, but if not, maybe you get a pass interference call. And you know in the NFL, that's a spot foul. You get all of that yardage. That would be a big play.
He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down. Now the Bears will use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Here we go on 4th. Newton. And this will be caught inside the 10. What a grab. Touchdown, Chicago. Rashard Matthews with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Bears draw a bit closer. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now. This one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day. Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Cowboys, the win is number 9 for them on the year. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for Chicago, you wonder what this will do to their playoff prospects as they fall to 8-5. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my